Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at Lenovo's latest Android tablet. This is the Lenovo IdeaPad S2109, and it's a little bit different from most Android tablets on the market. It's a 9.7-inch tablet with an IPS display, and it's 1024 by 768, so a little bit more square, 4:3 aspect ratio, like the iPad. And we're going to look at it now. So this is Lenovo's latest Android tablet. It is the IdeaPad line, and this is the model S2109. Not the most exciting name there, but gets the job done. What makes this different is the aspect ratio, 9.7 inch across, just like the iPad and, well, the now sadly defunct HP touchpad. And it has 1024 by 768 resolution, so that's 4:3, kind of nice for reading books and for watching TV shows that are in that aspect ratio, and it's different from the usual 1280 by 800 10.1 inch Android tablets that we see. Lenovo does target this for kind of home consumer multimedia use. It has 4 speakers on the back with SRS sound, an IPS display with 420 nits of brightness, good high contrast, and it's a really nice looking display. It is great for watching movies, and it's also nice and sharp and clear for reading ebooks. You get the usual glossy glare thing going on, but that's what it is with tablets. They're always going to be glossy. The 16 gig version of the IdeaPad lists for, I should say, $449, but you know Lenovo, on their website they're always having sales, and right now it's actually $349. For $349, that's a great price. For $449, you're looking at the same price you're going to pay for some quad-core Tegra tablets, and I know that a lot of you are very specs conscious, and it's kind of hard to pass up more cores, isn't it? But you do get the really excellent IPS display on here, which is really the big selling point of this tablet. There is also an 8 gig model, and that one lists for $399. Right now it's $389 on Lenovo's website. Not as much of a discount there. They really want to see you get that 16 gig. This does have a micro SD card slot to expand storage, so you don't have to get a whole lot of internal storage, but keep in mind that Android OS 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich, which this is running, latest greatest version of the operating system, as until Jelly Bean starts spreading to other devices, only supports installing applications on built-in storage. But still, that 8 gigs even is a whole lot, even if you saw a bunch of big, fat, juicy games. So let's take a look around. Your usual black bezel device, again, a slightly different shape from other Android tablets, and we'll compare that. On this edge here, we have nothing. On this side, we have the micro SD card slot, micro HDMI and micro USB. It supports HDCP for outputting copy-protected content to your TV. Charging port. Up here we have our volume controls. Easy to operate, easy to feel, not easy to accidentally press. That's good. And here we have the headphone jack and the power button. Again, nice control, feels good. And on the back, genuine plastic, ABS kind of plastic. We have 4 speakers now. 2 of them have metal surrounds, and then we've got 2 more down here at the bottom. And we've got the SRS logo on that speaker grill surround right there. It's quite thin. It's also very light. It's only 1.3 pounds, so you don't get any lighter than that in a 10-inch tablet right now. And now we're comparing it to the new iPad here. Again, about the same size, same aspect ratio. Same footprint. And on the side you can see they're about the same thickness. And now we have it next to the Toshiba Excite 10 here. This is a quad-core Android tablet with the usual 10.1 inch 1280 by 800 display. So you can see the obvious difference. This is longer going this way. And the Excite also is quite light. It's about 1.3 pounds and also thin. Toshiba has a metal back, which is nice, but it doesn't have the IPS display. It has a nice display, but not IPS. The Lenovo has a dual-core 1 GHz TI OMAP CPU with PowerVR graphics. So you're looking at the same CPU that we saw last fall in most tablets. And again, compared to quad cores, you're not going to see the same level of performance, but it's perfectly adequate for playing 1080p video, and it handles games just fine. The only caveat there is some games don't support the 1024 by 768 aspect ratio. It has a gig of RAM, and again it's available with either 8 or 16 gigs of internal storage. It has a front 1.3 megapixel camera. It can shoot 720p video. Mostly you're going to be using that for video chat, Skype, Google Talk, that kind of thing, and no rear camera. It does have built-in microphones for video chat like most tablets. Usual accelerometer, ambient light sensor, GPS, Bluetooth 3.0, and Wi-Fi 802.11 BGN single band, and it has an FM radio tuner, which is something we don't often see in tablets. Mostly we see that in phones. It has a 3-cell battery inside that Lenovo claims is good for up to 10 hours or so on a charge, and so far in our test we're seeing, well, about 7.5 to 8.25 hours, so it's doing actually pretty well. And that's with the display brightness set at about 60%. Really nice display. I don't feel the urge to crank it up, but I'd say 50-60% is pretty nice for everyday use, unless you're reading books, and then you probably want to drop the brightness down. So let's take a look at the software. Here we have your basic standard Android installation. User interface not customized. They just leave it alone, which is a fine thing to do. You've got your usual controls down here. You've got your app launcher up here, and your menu to get to everything else over here. No quick shortcuts for wireless, but that's something that we see on phones more than we see it on tablets. Again, the launcher is pretty much just standard Android right here, where you switch between your apps and your widgets. And for our widgets, we have the usual standard stuff that you're going to see on an Android tablet. They do give you AccuWeather, and also Evernote's preloaded, so there's an Evernote widget there. Other preloaded stuff includes Uvu Chat. You've got Skype on here, the FM radio application. We've got documents to go on here, and that's the full version that can view, edit, and create MS Office documents, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Printer shares on board, a voice note application, Norton Internet Security, and not so necessary these days. I know there's some paranoia sometimes about Android malware, but right now it's not really a huge problem if you stick to legitimate stores like the Google Play Store, and Lenovo has their own app store that's powered by MobiHand that's loaded on here. And they give you a basic file browser. If we take a look at Docs to Go, it's your standard Docs to Go installation, and it handles Google Docs as well, cloud storage, local files as well. So since this guy's big raison d'etre is multimedia, let's listen to some music and look at some video. Let's check out our handy music player widget right here and hear those speakers. And we're at about 50% volume right now. Sounds pretty good, but not as stunning as I thought it might with 4 speakers. But certainly better than the average 7-inch tablet, and competes okay with 10-inch tablets. Now we're in the standard Google Gallery application. We'll check out 1080p video playback with our usual high-profile MPEG-4 locally stored trailer. And you can see the black here, no real light bleed to speak of, which is nice. It's been a problem for several Android tablets. And it's playing great, looking great. Now the bad thing about this aspect ratio is obviously if you're watching a movie made for widescreen, you've got these huge black bars here. So this is really better for watching TV-style 4:3 aspect ratio content. Lenovo includes their own custom keyboard with this, the Go keyboard. And you can see it right here. Now I don't find this the easiest to type on. It doesn't make a huge good use of the screen real estate, but one of the neat things about it is it supports a couple of different languages. You can see we have English, a couple of variations on French, probably Swiss French and Canadian French, symbols, digits, Spanish. That part's pretty neat. Also has a standard Android keyboard, and you can load whatever keyboard you like if you prefer swipe or whatever it is. In terms of synthetic benchmarks, this scores 2000 on Quadrant, which is about what we would expect from a TI dual-core OMAP CPU, and it scores 30 FIPS on the GL Benchmark 2.1 Egypt off-screen test. The fastest tablets score in the upper 50s, but still the 30s are good enough for a good gaming experience. I'm going to check out a game now and see how it does. And now we're going to test out Frontline Commando, third-person shooting game. Plays fine, looks good. Again, nice screen. Pretty glossy, but other than that, yeah, it's looking good. And given the aspect ratio being kind of comfortable for reading books, we'll check out Google Play Books. You can put Kindle on here, Barnes & Noble Nook, whatever you want for ebook reading, but this is convenient, so we'll take a look at it. and it's downloading it from the cloud right now. Page turn speeds are fine. Sharpness, nice display. Really good contrast. And contrast makes for good reading. And you can put this in portrait mode for more natural single page at a time reading. So definitely a pleasant experience for reading thanks to the really nice display and the aspect ratio. And again, it's great for multimedia. It does Crackle, it does Netflix. No Hulu Plus available yet. Maybe it'll come. You know, Hulu's not really fast about updating their clients for Android, but hopefully it will come soon. But you're set for all the other major streaming platforms. And there's Google Play Movies as well. So that's the Lenovo IdeaPad S2109. It's available now. Again, it lists for $399 for the 8 gig and $449 for the 16 gig, but Lenovo has some stupendous sales, and right now it's $100 off the 16 gig, so it's $349. At $349, it's looking pretty good. At $449, well, there's a lot of competition right now among tablets, not just including the iPad. If you're looking at Android tablets, there's a lot of nice ones out there for the same price, including the Toshiba Excite 10 with the quad core that we showed you. There's the Asus Transformer TF300 with a sharp IPS display as well for $399 with a quad core. And it's only going to get rougher. But still, the unique thing about this is the aspect ratio. If you find it particularly appealing ergonomically to hold it and for reading books, that kind of thing, it's great. The thing is that nowadays there's not as much 4:3 aspect ratio video content. It used to be TV shows were always done in that aspect ratio, but even now they're starting to go to widescreen, and of course movies you're going to see the big black bars. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Visit our website to read the full review of the Lenovo IdeaPad S2109, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.